Hi, my name's Dave Darby and I'm here to talk to you about the Ease Your Back positions that I've created on this website. My back injuries started when I was in my early 20s. I had initial back pain. I'd have back problems for a month or two and then they'd go away. And over the next about 15 years, I found that I would re-injure my back every 2 or 3 years. Each injury seemed to occur more easily and seemed to have worse consequences. I went through a phase where I tried replicating some of the exercises the chiropractor I'd been seeing was doing. I went through another phase where I just tried to leave my back alone, hoped the problem would go away. When I got to 39, I had a minor injury which just snowballed out of control, and I ended up really where I couldn't walk, I couldn't really work, and I really didn't have much hope other than the doctor was expecting that I would go and have an operation for my back problems. Well, the final straw for me was just sitting on a floor at a meeting where there weren't enough chairs, and I sat on the floor for an hour and a half, and that just put my back out, and it just got worse and worse, and the pain increased. I had sciatic nerve pain down my back of my legs, and it was excruciating. It went on for months. My injuries were cumulative, and they were often associated with sports. I'd often find that I'd hurt myself motorcycle racing, I'd strained my back mountaineering, and quite often after I had been away for a summer mountaineering and I was really, really fit, I'd then suffer another back injury after I'd just finished doing climbing. And that was often when I was going back to the office and I'd be sitting at my desk all day. When I was going through the final phase of my back injuries, I had to work part-time, and I could only work part-time. I couldn't sit on a chair any longer. I had to stand at a desk, and I was only working 4 hours a day. And the rest of the time I was seeing medical people, I was trying some swimming, I was seeing a chiropractor, but really I was in quite a bad space pain-wise. And fortunately for me, from that point on, I've learnt a whole series of techniques that enabled my back to improve year on year, and I haven't had a single back injury in the last 16 years since then. When I was working part-time, and my boss had really given me as much leeway as she could, and she said I had to attend a meeting on a Saturday, and if I didn't attend that meeting, then I was going to be made redundant. And the Saturday morning came, and my back was excruciating pain, and there wasn't really anything that I could do to go to the meeting. So I was lying on the floor, crying my eyes out. I was lying on my stomach when my back actually clicked into place. And that was the start of me learning how to do a back recovery position. And from that point on, I've managed to build on my knowledge and understanding of what medical people were saying, and just my background of training from athletics and sports. And over 15, 16 years, I've refined some of the positions of stretching and strengthening exercises that have allowed my back to just keep getting better and better. I played field hockey for 10 or 12 years, and it's a very right-handed sport. So I had one hip that would dip down, and I could bend my back one way, but the other way I had no flexibility at all. And what surprised me was over time I was able to develop a set of exercises that corrected a lot of those, the unnatural bias of my body. And I think I did them, but I did those exercises in a really gentle way. And a lot of exercises I've seen for lower back exercises or stretches, they're really vigorous, or they're quite, they put a lot of force into people's backs. What I found was by doing the right stretch in the right way, that the easier that I did it, that my back actually began to self-adjust rather than me trying to push and prod my back into position. What I've done is I've tried to take the best of the physiotherapy and chiropractic things that I were offered, and I've tried to adapt them so that I think I used a training regime. If I had more pain down my back of my legs, then it was a bad thing. If I had less pain down the back of my legs, it was a good thing. And I slowly learnt that pain in the muscles around my lower back was okay if my back was showing less nerve pain. The thing that enabled me to fix my back was having a combination of input from medical people, but also taking the time to learn how to manage my back between when I was seeing a doctor or a physiotherapist or a chiropractor. I don't think I could have fixed my back by myself, but neither did going to the doctor or going to the chiropractor occasionally actually lead to my back improving. Those things would give me some short-term relief, but generally it was a long downhill trend. And what I've learned is a set of stretches that work for me that has become an improvement trend that hasn't reversed for 15 years. A lot of physio is undertaken when your back is still in a really delicate or sensitive state. And I think that the physio only really started working for me once my back had realigned itself in part. Whereas the chiropractor I found was cracking my back into place, but that would only last for a day or two. It didn't give me any strength or resolve for the months to go. So I think it was a matter of I tried to use both, the best of both of those philosophies. And I think those philosophies conflict in part. So I didn't allow that conflict to dominate what I was thinking. I just took the best parts of it and used a sports training sort of mentality to develop what I needed to do. But I did it with an emphasis on really gentle realignment, allowing my back to realign itself as much as possible, rather than anything vigorous. I would do the exercises to relieve the pain whenever the pain increased or was noticeable. I think when I first started to understand ways to reduce the pain, I had to do stretching exercises about every 2 hours. Well, I had to learn to do the back stretches in any situation when my back pain started to increase. And in particular, when I was at work. If I was sitting at my desk, I'd have to stop doing what I was doing and learn and just lie on the floor in my back recovery position. Sometimes people would knock on my office door, and one time I just yelled out to the guy, "Come in." He walks in and I'm not there. I'm actually down beside my desk. He couldn't see me at the time. When your back is in such pain that your whole life feels out of kilter, the least of your problems are lying on the floor at work. Once I knew that the stretches were actually working, it didn't really worry me if I had to do them at work. Before I go into a restaurant, I'll often do a set of back stretches out on the footpath just before I go and sit down for a meal. I had to do these exercises as often as I needed to reduce the pain. Over time, the frequency that I've done those has changed to the point now where I don't proactively stretch if I don't need to. The frequency of the exercises decreased probably to once or twice a day after a year or two. And now I probably only do those stretches once every 3 or 4 days. Well, I hope some of the easier back positions that I've shown you add some information to your knowledge about back injuries and back recovery. And I'm hoping that you might like to look through other videos that we've provided on the website and see if they're of any value to you.